Welcome to this new edition of the Daily Moving On. At 8 p.m. every day, we highlight the most important announcements made during the Moving On Summit and have a chat with the people that are making mobility more sustainable. Today, our focus will be on startups. But first, let's have a quick glimpse of what happened today at the summit. Maybe a last question, Florent, that I have with you. So if you could define mobility in one word, what would that be?
It would be life.
Wow, I think that's brilliant.
You see, the big problem is not that we lack the what to do, because we know how to move to wind, solar, hydro, other zero carbon energy sources. We have the great leadership in zero carbon mobility.
Now it's time to discover what Rubik's S&I with Jean-Christophe can offer to the customers and end users, which benefits.
What we do is to transform the environments in an organic environment reacting to its usage.
The problem has been the incumbent fossil fuel sectors, which have been politically powerful, and in petro countries like the United States, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Australia, Canada, foot dragging. That's been the problem.
That will basically summarize what I've been saying. So you have to look at and to iterate between all those parameters. So you cannot solve one of the issue alone. You need to solve all of them all together at the same time, and all at that time being compliant with all regulations.
When I hear some of our competitors criticizing what we are doing, I believe today what is more important is we need to join forces. We need to find solutions that are good for the environment. And if we can do it all together, I think we will stand a better chance to help the planet and move forward.
Those regulations will basically need new business model from the shipping industry in order to cope with that. So they will have far-reaching consequences.
We want to include them in this group of solutions that we're going to bring to heads of states, to other corporations. This is how we can really change the world by reconciling ecology and economy.
Absolutely, and we are completely in sync there. We don't believe these are two opposite ideas. Actually, this is the future.
We had an amazing array of conferences and working sessions in one day. What makes this summit so rich? It's the way it brings together partners from different horizons, public sector, city managers, private companies, and NGOs. Because obviously, sustainable mobility can't be achieved without cooperation and emulation. And within the Moving On ecosystem, startups have a very special place. Let's see why. In its quest for sustainable mobility, Moving On wants new ideas and disruptive solutions to thrive and be implemented on a large scale. That's why, since 2018, Moving On has helped innovative startups with the Moving On Startup Challenge.
We share a common vision. We are all convinced that the world of tomorrow will not be a world with less mobility, but with more sustainable mobility.
This year, Moving On is taking a step further. It's going to help startups integrate its ecosystem with the Moving On Startup Booster. This new program encourages partnerships between up-and-coming companies and experienced partners within the Moving On community, because we are all convinced that the success of high-potential startups requires expert-to-expert support. The Startup Booster has been made possible thanks to 16 partners within the Moving On community. Well, as you've just seen in the clip earlier, so this year, Movin'On reinvents its program for startups and launches the Movin'On Startup Booster. The objective, well, to enable startups selected by Movin'On partners to network and take action themselves. And Attaway is among the selected startups. I have the pleasure to welcome Jean-Michel Amaret. So you're the co-founder of Attaway. So it's great to have you here at the summit. How was your day?
Yeah, marvelous, exciting. We had a lot of exchange or a lot of discussions with partners. It was very, very interesting.
Well, that's great to hear. So what is your feedback on your participation in the Startup Flash Talk, which was actually hosted by Total, right?
Total Energy.
They just changed the names, right?
Yes, just a brand new name. Lots of discussions. We had the luck to present our activity, our product, our solutions in hydrogen mobility and hydrogen infrastructure, and to present how a company, a small company, is increasing and is proposing new solutions for new use of mobility. And with all of these partners, great big companies,
Absolutely.
We are very lucky to present these solutions to them and to find a way to build partnerships with them.
And that's a little bit the objective, and it must be really exciting for you to be here.
Yes, it's the most interesting objectives of this Startup Accelerating Booster.
Right, so the Movin'On Startup Booster Adventure was launched in March. So could you probably give us a flavor of what you did with Movin'On partners?
We had lots of discussions with them to identify what they are looking for in solutions, in new solutions, what are their objectives, what are their timeline, and how we can build with them new solutions, new business model around energy and hydrogen solutions. And so it was very interesting with several and different partners and companies to find all of these bricks, new solution bricks on this evolution of mobility.
Great. So I guess that Movin'On Startup Boost experience doesn't stop here at the summit, Jean-Michel. So what are the next steps and what are your expectations?
We are growing very fast because we are doubling our activity and our company, the size of the company each year.
So this is exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting a lot. And all of the ecosystem of partners, of users, of big companies in energy or mobility and in financing partners are around us and are helping us to grow very fast and to be one of the leader in the hydrogen revolution.
Jean-Michel, tell me, what do you dream for Attaway in, let's say, 10 years?
In 10 years, Attaway will be one of the leaders in the hydrogen infrastructure and hydrogen mobility solutions all around Europe, and perhaps more, because we want to be one of the main actors in this sector.
Well, I ask this question every day in the Daily Highlights, is if you had to describe mobility in one word, Jean-Michel, what would that be?
It's easy to say hydrogen, but mainly it is a revolution.
Well, thank you, Jean-Michel, and I guess I'll see you at the summit tomorrow.
With pleasure, Asha.
Looking forward. So it's going to be quite an exciting day with inspiring speakers. So, for example, we'll talk about social inclusion and mobility within cities with Cécile Duflo from Oxfam, Angela Harris, Catapult Design, Michael Rupogley, New York City. There will be a talk about collective transports and the importance of user experience when it comes to multimodal mobility. Speakers will be Laurence Batley from RATP Dev, Sylvain Aon, UITP, Wisham Lam, LTA Singapore, Sami Sahala, City of Helsinki, and don't miss the conference about the aviation industry's relaunched post-COVID with Air France and the Solar Impulse Foundation. Well, I'll see you tomorrow as usual at 8 p.m. for the Daily Moving On.
The Daily with HSBC, official partner of Movin'On Summit.